YouTube, so this is Lanya and I'm here to talk about brooch bouquets. Now, what are brooch bouquets? Brooch bouquets are an alternative to regular flowers. So they're usually a bouquet that's filled with brooches all over, a lot of times because brides cannot afford all those brooches or don't wish to have all those brooches. They will swap off some of the brooches with regular silk flowers or flowers that you make from ribbons. And a lot of times they look just as beautiful as the bouquets that are blinged out with brooches. Now, what type of bride will use a brooch bouquet? I used a brooch bouquet for my wedding just because I wanted to, look different. I wanted to have different aspects in my wedding. I wanted to have something that stood out, not have something regular like everyone else did for their wedding. So a lot of times brides want to stand out and want to have something different for their wedding. They'll usually have a brooch bouquet, or it could just be a bride that don't really care for flowers. Not everyone loves flowers, or a bride that is allergic to flowers. They will usually have brooch bouquets or silk flowers with a little bit of brooches in it. Now, there also, if you have a florist that a little bit adventurous and a little bit care to do something different, they will also put brooches with your regular flowers, but that's something you have to work with your florist. So who actually uses brooch bouquets now? Let me show you the different type of brooch bouquets that I did make. So I was actually selling brooch bouquets. I realized it was really tedious, it was a lot of work, and I kind of slowed down on that. So I would make some for my family and friends, and I also went to wedding shows, and I also did some clients, and it was a good business and it was really doing well. I just slowed down just because life was getting stressful, having a baby and everything, so I slowed down on the brooch bouquets. But I do want to show you the different types of brooch bouquets that you can do for your wedding, and different ways you can make them. You're not confined to make it the same way Keisha Kiora did it for her wedding, or the way how Snooki did it for her wedding. There's so many different ways you can make a brooch bouquet. So the main brooch bouquet that people know about or like to look at are the brooch bouquet with a lot of brooches. They're like blinged out everywhere you look, there are brooches. Underneath these brooches I put regular little silk flowers just to fill up the gap, so you won't see the foam. Styrofoam is actually what makes the shape of this brooch bouquet, so you won't see that, so you fill it with a lot of brooches, and it's really sparkly and pretty, and when the lights are on you as a bride, you could see all the sparkling all over, and you could actually see it when, like with me, just using regular sunlight. And I had an outdoor wedding, so when I was walking you could actually see all the sparkly prettiness. And at the bottom I made more of like a folding, like a rose, so it looked really this is a really pretty one. This is usually the ones that people usually want, but then when they realize the price of it, even when you're making it for yourself, when you realize these brooches are not cheap and you have to fill the whole thing with brooches, they're usually like, okay, I think I want some silk flowers with that. Yeah, and that's what people would do. So this is one of the brooch bouquets you can have. It's a lot more costly than other brooches that will have silk or will have ribbons with them. So this is number one, but really expensive. Okay, the second one that I did, and it's not very popular only because this one was kind of like a sporty one. It was more like if you're a die-hard sports fan. So this is Raven, so I live in Maryland, so Baltimore, Maryland, so a lot of people are Raven fans, so they would this was kind of like a little hype, like everyone really liked it, but they were like, should I have it for my wedding? You know, it's kind of like sporty. And I'm like, yeah, I could see, you know, you're not too sure of having it. But if you are really adventurous and you are all about your sports, the theme in your wedding is sports, I think this is a really good alternative to regular flowers. Now, I used black and purple because that's the colors of ravens. And I swapped it out with brooches. I didn't use a lot because the whole aim of this one was just to show that you could have a theme wedding brooch bouquet rather than just have it just regular brooches. I got these pins that had, you know, ravens on there. I don't know if you could see the bird, the raven bird, but yeah, a lot of them I did swap it up with brooches because I felt like it was a little bit too sportsy, so I put some brooches with them. Now, what could have made this more feminine and less sportsy is to fill it with more brooches. So you fill this up with more brooches, but you still have that raven brooch in between. Now, I didn't put a lot of brooches on here. I just wanted to focus on the theme. And if you notice in here, there's like each flower has a diamond inside of it. So this is another thing you could see, and these are silk flowers, not silk, sorry, ribbon flowers. And I love to make ribbon flowers, and I think they look pretty. At the bottom, they also have ribbon flowers, and they also is folded, and this is pretty, and this is really good. The second one that I did, this is also a themed one, and this is a kind of a beach theme brooch bouquet. Hold on 1 second. Hi, I'm back. And I was my daughter crying, and I was like, what's going on? So I wanted to see if she was okay. So yeah, this one is more of a beach theme brooch bouquet, and the good thing is that you're not confined to this brooches. You could put stuff like shells. I had a starfish that I put on there. I just thought this was different and more like, it was just different to me. I really loved this one. And I told myself if I had a beach wedding, I would definitely do this because it's just so different. And I did this sparkly looking material, and I felt like it looked like little, you know, waves. You know, when you're in the water and you can see the waves, you know, and at nighttime. So I really loved this brooch bouquet. It looked really pretty to me. At the bottom, I just did regular ribbons folding, just like how I did my brooch bouquet. And yeah, so I really liked this one. This is another themed brooch bouquet, and this one shows you also that you are not confined to using just brooches. You could also use you know, different things like starfish, you know, pearls, a seashell. You know, this was, and at the bottom I did more of like a netting material. So I think this is a very pretty brooch bouquet if you have a destination wedding, if you have a beach wedding, or if you have a nautical wedding. This is really pretty because it's really different, and it goes along with this one, which is more of a theme wedding. The next brooch bouquet I had really loved to do was this one. This one is more of a cameo brooch bouquet. It was more, had a vintage look to it, and I did this one in more of a ball rather than half of a ball. I just felt like I wanted to do something different. I did it with there's a lot of lace, like this is lace with pearls, and there's like string pearls all over, and cameo. This is definitely 100% vintage looking brooch bouquet, and this is also another theme brooch bouquet. Now it's pretty. A lot of times people will want more bling. That's not a problem. If you want more bling, put more brooches on it, but you know, do more of a theme. Like if you want cameo, then get more cameo brooches, and also do it with pearls because cameo goes really well with pearls and with lace. So this was one of the brooch bouquets that I would consider a theme brooch bouquet rather than just brooch bouquet with brooches all over. So this one was really pretty. I love this one. I love doing this one and this one. Like, these two were my favorite brooch bouquets that I did. My second favorite, well, not second, but one of the favorite brooch bouquets I have was this pretty one. And actually these flowers are different. These are not roses. I can't remember the name of these flowers that they're imitating, but they are made differently. It's more of a material, and this one required me sewing. Like, I didn't just use a glue gun. I have to actually sew them and wire the brooch and then stick the brooch bouquet in the middle of the petals. So it had more of a 3D dimension look to it, and I really liked it because it was different from what I was used to making. Like, I'm so used to making the roses and the silk roses, and I also did this for a client. They loved the 3D dimension of it, and when I did it, they absolutely loved it. I also put more brooches. Like, a lot of time when people think about brooch bouquets, they don't want to see too much of the silk or the flower, and they want to see more of the brooches. They just, you know, can't afford to do all the brooches. So I enjoyed making this one because it was really different. It was a little bit more work because the flowers itself, you're sewing and then you're gluing it on, which makes it more work. In the front, I have another brooch, and I love the fact that it has a long ribbon, so when you're holding it, it has this effect to it. One thing you can do is you can have a picture, you can have one of those brooches where it has a picture of a family member that probably passed away and you want them to be still a part of the wedding, or you know, or just, you know, just somebody who you want to remember, or even it could have like a text of a Bible text there, or something that is really something that you want to keep near and dear to you while you're walking down the aisle. You could have a brooch bouquet, or a brooch that allows you to put a picture in there or some words, and you could have that attached with the ribbon hanging down. So that is another option that's really pretty and very popular to use. Now, last but not least, this one is not very popular, and if I had to say it's my least popular, or the least that I like, I don't really like this one very much, but it's really different and I wanted to show it. This is the metallic one. I really don't like this one, but you know, they probably have someone who would. I don't know. So it's full with buttons, and it's really alternative for brooches. It's really cheaper. This was probably the cheapest brooch bouquet that I have made. The only thing that made it a little bit expensive was the handle. The handle, I bought that on Amazon, and it's really like a metal looking handle, and it went really well with the buttons, and it's pretty, but it's really not my favorite. But I just said, hey, somebody may like it. Those are all the brooches that brooch bouquets that I made and that I love, and they're all different. They all probably have a different theme or a different make to it. Even though things like the bottom of the brooch bouquet is made differently. Like, this is more of a rose effect, and this one was more of cloth with roses, and then you have this one that has more of a, you know, 3D effect to it. There's different ways, and a lot of times I notice that people will, when they make brooch bouquets, they're very confined to one way and one look. Let's just get out of that and just do something creative and fun.